Hi everyone, Helen Blunden here at Activate Learn on Twitter. It is time for another book review, so thank you so much for joining and clicking play to see this video. Now, this book that I have been reading the past couple of weeks was an easy read, but it took me a couple of weeks, and the only reason is because I'm also reading at the same time another book that is about 800 pages in length, which is the 107 essays that Christopher Hitchens wrote. So I'm balancing this book and with this huge book by Christopher Hitchens at the same time. But what is the book? It is Digital Minimalism on Living Better with Less Technology by Cal Newport. Now, you may have heard of the author and you may have heard of this book. This is his 6th book, and I have read his other books. They're all quite good. And Cal Newport, if you don't know, is an associate professor of computer science at Georgetown University. Now, in this book, he talks about digital minimalism. It's all about how we reduce our reliance on our digital devices, in particular, our social media. He starts off the book by explaining that, we're being held to ransom by these big tech companies who really have created algorithms that focus our attention, all of our attention, and hence all of our time, so they can sell to us, which is fair enough. Initially, I started off on social media with good intentions. I love social media. It's built my networks. I've learned so much from it. I've had so many opportunities that have come from it. But I do notice in recent years, it's somehow, stagnating for me in some way. This year, I have also been digital decluttering to the point where now I'm just using Twitter and LinkedIn with the hope that I will get rid of LinkedIn when I retire, and maybe I'll stick with Twitter, maybe not, I don't know. By that stage, I know that I would have made lots of contacts and my networks, and I could contact them in different ways, which I'm slowly already doing at the moment by connecting and conversing with a lot more people. Righto, so digital minimalism is really all about that. It's all about how we reduce our reliance on technology and think of different ways of being able to connect with people without feeling as if our time and attention and focus is just on our digital devices. Now, he talks about a framework and he talks about different ways that we could do this. Nothing in this book is new. Nothing is startling, nothing is standout, and nothing is transformational. I'm sorry to say that, but you probably already knew that. You probably deep down know what you need to do to get off social media, okay? It's a fair enough call. We all need willpower, and we all need the motivation and something to say, right, enough is enough. I'm going to put some practices into place to reduce my focus and attention on the things that really don't provide value to me and the things that don't make me happy or the things that depress me. So digital minimalism, he provides a different framework, and that framework is a 30-day social media detox, which you can do, but he also does say that it could be difficult for some people. And at the end of the 30 days, really make it a hard assessment on whether you actually really need to use this digital tech, whether it adds any value. If it doesn't add any value, get rid of it, stop it, deactivate it, delete it, you don't need it. I also like that he does present some different tips, things like incorporating some solitude time in your day. Solitude meaning not to be connected to your podcasts or watching videos. We're talking solitude as in you alone with your thoughts. Now, for me, my alone time happens to be every time I'm in my car because I don't turn on the radio. In the car is my little pod of just me and my thoughts. Another way that I have that is through my journal. And this is a journal that I write in every day. And in fact, Cal Newport talks about the benefit of journalism and the benefit of writing letters to yourself, which just gets you just contemplating alone with your thoughts, and you're not actually sucking in or taking in any content from any others. He talks about taking long walks. He talks about, having some open hours where you show to people, these are the hours I'm available, and they could ring you up It talks about the value of conversation over connection, which I loved. And this is something that I have been doing quite a lot. I've recently reduced my social media just to 2, Twitter and LinkedIn. I've gotten rid of everything else. I don't need it. I don't want to use it. I'm not interested in anymore. But a lot of the things that he mentioned in here, I've been going on my own journey with them. Things like time blocking, blockers on your phone and on desktop to show how much time that you've been spending on social media, and then blocking those sites. Deleted social media off my phone. Never click like, never respond, never comment. That tip really goes against what I've been saying with regards to building personal learning networks of people you know, like, and trust, and people you could learn with and connect with. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, the other thing I did enjoy in the last chapter was how he says to reclaim leisure, and he splits leisure time into 2 aspects: the high quality leisure and low quality leisure. Low quality leisure is when you're just doing mindless scrolling. Before you know it, hours have passed and you go, what have I done? Absolutely nothing, and I feel like shit. That's low quality leisure. And the high quality leisure is the stuff that I love to do, which is all about crafts, creating things with your hands. Yes, you can get online on YouTube and look at a video on how to knit or how to do a specific craft and then go off and do it. You know, that is high quality leisure, and I love that bit. I always make time for it. It takes the bulk of my day, and it is stuff that I get into a flow of work. It gives me pleasure. I come out with skills on the other hand. Man, what's not to love about high quality leisure? Do more of that. And that's what he espouses. Did I have any issues with this book? There's only one little minor thing. And you see, Cal Newport, yes, he's an associate professor in computer science, but he's never been on social media. So all the stories he says in here and all the tips and the strategies he provides, he hasn't been through the pain himself. So he hasn't immersed himself into social media. He openly admits that he's never had a Facebook account, he's never had Instagram. And I think to myself, if you've never been on social media, then how can you provide authoritative advice and recommendations and tips and strategies if you yourself have not been through the pain and have not actually overcome that pain to advise us? So his book comes across as, I don't know, I felt it as if it was slightly, listen to what I say, I know what I'm saying, I've written a book about this, but I've never used social media. Hey, look at me. It comes across as like a holier than thou attitude, and that's what I don't like. It's the thing that is just not sitting well with me. How can someone who is a researcher in this have not dabbled, experimented, even opened up bloody fake accounts, fake names, fake profiles, tested, experimented, played around with social media, hacked the bloody thing, actually immerse themselves into it to really go through and understand what the rest of society is going through. Okay, he's a very rare person, and I'm glad that he hasn't gone on there. But at the same time, it just doesn't sit well with me with regards to him not having a social media account, because the level of credibility, I guess, has slightly lessened in my eyes. That is the only criticism I have with this book. But that's not to say I won't read any of his other books. In fact, I have read his other books. It's just when it comes from someone who doesn't come from a place of having gone through the pain, having the skin in the game, if I could use Taleb's quote, is the credibility factor just isn't there for me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Have you read this book? Have you read any of his other books? Have you gone through the 30-day social media detox that he accounts in this book? Let me know what you think. Write it in the comments below. You don't have to, in fact, you don't even have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't even have to click like or respond or comment. But I do appreciate you listening and watching today. Okay then, bye for now.